Trick, please.
I know y'all probably heard this story, but it's gonna always center me in regards to this podcast, man. That we started arguing on Facebook, turned into real conversations, that turned into a podcast on Facebook. But don't pretend like we didn't create a culture over here, whether it was rooted in Africa or not, whether it's
Trick, please. Trick, please.
Why you trying to do everything that I do? Monkey.
I'll show you how to flip it in the cheese. Trick, freeze.
Trick, please.
Trick, please.
I know y'all probably heard this story, but it's gonna always center me in regards to this podcast, man. That we started arguing on Facebook, turned into real conversations, that turned into a podcast on Facebook. But don't pretend like we didn't create a culture over here, whether it was rooted in Africa or not, whether it's
Monkey see, a monkey do, a monkey do.
Might be the dumbest man in America. I've never seen anything like this.
correct.
Who implicates himself? Who implicates themselves in a book? What's a
the same thing? She can actually talk about different things,
The fact that he said he was better than Q, and like,
decide on whether or not you're gonna have kids. You probably just
We don't want kids.
make her. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so when I could not have a relationship with my biological father, God brought other men in my life to father. And
I am racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world.
Remember me? Take a picture. Let's do like, come on, man.
Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their minds. When in fact, these are
Yeah, somebody changed the sentence. Yeah, somebody changed the sentence. Yeah, somebody changed the sentence. Yeah, I said microphone check 1 2 1 2. Third degree come through like I'm kind of brand new. No, I can't stand you, but I plan to attack you and give you something you can breathe. You where your brain as I maintain my composure. Like I said, man, I'm getting closer to what I want. I'm talking about my destination. No smokehouse, but I broke out the next place. And you already see a boy that they call third degree infinitely. That be me with the DY3 shirt. I told you before, yes, lyrical expert. Go get the merch from thirdDegreeKing3rd.com. Yes, I'm here to drop bombs and serenade and try to educate your moms bombs, but I'm about to make you feel lucky like sweaty palms. Oh, I mean itchy. Yes, you getting money. Yo, you can't ditch me. Ain't nothing funny, but yo, you about to see what I bring to the table. Sorry, dog, I'm not able. Unplug the cable for maybe 2 hours. Come devour some knowledge and empower your mind as we give you something. We drop dimes, like I said right now, the greatest of all time. I will never nickel and dime nobody. Give you a whole dollar, maybe a whole hour. But I'm just a young black scholar, about to make you throw up your fist and scream black power. FBA or African descendant, you can see right now I represent it like a pendant hanging from my neck. You better show some respect, cause right now you ain't seen nothing yet. We just intelligent and we read. Like I said, yes, I give you everything you need. Why you take it from me? We see greed. We make them bow down, stay up on their knees. Shall I proceed to step up? Right now you don't like me, so please just shut up. Middle finger swinging, you already see. It's the boy that they call third degree. We got Quest, Adoration, we got Jess. Shout out to Method X, you already know what's next. As I flex, starting up and representing the West. Yes, I'm about to lyrical digest. I digress from that point when I'm about to go and bring it back, touching no slack. But yes, I am about to go get the dough in my flow, and let's go and start the show. Whoa. What's good, Joe? What's good? It's your boy Third. We are back. We got Adoration. We got Quez. How you doing?
What's the deal?
Yeah.
What's the deal, my brother?
If only you knew. What's that song? If only you knew. It's been a rough week.
Hey, man, it happens to the best of us. What's up, Adoration? In the building.
I'm so I thought I had a class this morning, so I woke up early, got ready, just to find out Google Calendar lied to me. So I'm here for 40 minutes.
Hey, that's what's up. Anytime we have you, we're honored and pleasure.
Why did I wake up early?
How's my sound now? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why it sounds so. I'm gonna have to redo my whole thing on phone. What's good? Well, what's good with y'all, yo?
Hey, man, I'm good, brother.
Ooh, nothing on ratchet right now. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't like that at all.
Hey, man, you gotta be careful. Now, I just got back from Kentucky, like literally 30 minutes ago.
Man, this dude. I told you, hey, if you had to, we do some other. This dude, man.
Hey, it was a last minute decision, so you know what I'm saying. I ain't want to bother you with that. I actually figured it out yesterday, so we just get it done, man. You know what I'm saying? Made it there and back in time for the show.
Got you. All right, well, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and just get into some ratchetness real quick, and we will be right back, y'all.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Third Degree. We're back with more ratchet news. Well, some of it's ratchet, some of it's not, but we still got to speak on it. So, let's go.
Get off. Miss North Carolina, USA stripped of her crown for alleged racist post. Good ratings, you piece of shit. Moving on. The professional misconduct case that was opened due to an anonymous complaint has been closed by the MS Board of Nursing. Thank you to all those who have constantly kept us in your prayers. This definitely has added more hurt to an already devastating time because I love my job and I love my patients. Nolan's case is still ongoing. And again, the question is, what happened to Nolan? Justice for Nolan Wells, Forever 18. Hey, good. I'm glad, you know what I mean? But we'll talk about this at a later date, too. This is a quote from Christine Wansley in regards to somebody trying to get her fired from her job. All right, moving on. A DNA test has revealed that Wyclef Jean is mostly or mainly Nigerian, which makes sense. But we're going to talk about that, too. Moving on. Well, real quick, before those who don't know, Wyclef was actually born in Haiti. But, again, his ancestry test came back primarily Nigerian. So, moving on. TDE CEO Top Dog reveals the real reason Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar stopped talking to the game. A quote, that 100 video with Drake changed everything, end quote. And I wonder why that made Dre stop talking to him. Moving on. Hey, if you know, you know. I think this was hilarious. Shout out to Raising Canaan. This is a great series. Moving on. Black woman 29 found hanging from a tree behind vacant home in Mississippi in the community. Man, this is ongoing questions, especially with this Nolan Wells stuff. So we're going to keep you updated with this as well. Moving on. Former NBA player Royce White says he's declaring for the 2027 WNBA Draft, claiming he now identifies as transgender. We're talking about this tonight. Moving on. Chicago's own Lisa Ray throws out the first pitch at the White Sox game, and she, looking right in the white pants, man. Go ahead for her age, you know what I mean? But she's still ratchet. Forever diamond, you know what I mean? But moving on. Cheesecake Factory is offering full meals 4 to 6 p.m. for only $9.95. I wonder what days. Let me know. I'm there. Moving on. Well, going back to that transgender talk, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert says league officials will meet next week to discuss and clarify eligibility standards for what qualifies a player as a woman in the WNBA. Moving on. Southwest T says Jeezy turned Big Meech's real life into street anthems. Quote, that's why it resonated with the people, end quote. Do you agree? Shout out to BMF and Jeezy. Moving on. Lena the Plug tosses her wedding ring after hugging Drake during his 20v1. Whatever. Moving on. Man arrested after dressing up in Grim Reaper costume on hospital roof and staring at patients. That is just savage. Moving on. With Keefe D's trial actually kicking off Monday with jury selection, it actually kicks off next Monday. With the opening statements, and Keefe D admitted he wrote his own book to his mistress during a jail call in 2023. This dude is dumb, right? We're gonna keep you posted with that too. Moving on. If you know, you know. A heart ain't nothing but a house of love. Moving on. We now get a first look at Dwayne and Whitley in a Different World sequel. I can't wait for next month, right? Bring it on. All right, moving on. Florida Steakhouse now offers new dining nights, and reservations come with a robe and sanitized seat cushion. Moving on. GameStop robbed in Redlands. Cash register reportedly stolen. Crazy work. We know that area too. Moving on. Well, the Lakers have been sold again, this time to former Disney CEO Bob Iger and some Josh Kushner, whatever, connected to Trump. This is sickening, right? Moving on. It's been reported that nearly 1 in 3 married women say they knew they were settling before saying yes. Do you agree? We're going to talk about this next show. Moving on. Walmart responds to banning Damon Darling from their stores. This is crazy. We were going to talk about this tonight. We still might touch on it too. Moving on. Lionel Richie disses Usher and Chris Brown. Quote, we didn't go to jail. Pretty much saying we did the same thing back in the day, but we didn't go to jail. End quote. Why did he take shots at them? Moving on. Surrogate who refused to terminate pregnancy despite intended parents' wishes gives birth. This is a good topic too that we're going to talk about later date. You know what I mean? Moving on. NYPD's hip-hop cop Derek Parker has passed away at the age of 65. RIP to him. All right, moving on. It's being reported that Super El Nino may be the strongest since 1950. What it can mean for California. Moving on. Ex-officer who planned to unalive black people released from custody. Perfect timing, right? Moving on. Tiger responds to criticism for using AI while creating a new album and addresses Doja Cat's comment, I love Doja, but she made a demonic album, end quote. You may be right. Moving on. Last but not least, Joe Jackson from Michael will debut as a roaming character at this year's Universal's Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood. And if this is true, this is just wild. Anyway, I'm Third Degree, and that's been your Ratchet News. Enjoy the show.
Yo, we are back.
Disrespect, man. The disrespect. What would make somebody think that was acceptable? With Joe Jackson, man. That's crazy work.
I can't stand you at Rachel White to laugh.
It was so funny. Because, imagine you're at a haunted house. And Joe, right, all the little boogeymen that's nothing. And then Joe Jackson pops out with a belt. Boom! Every black person.
She goofy. But what if somebody did do that though? You know what I'm saying? What if somebody they didn't get scared of Jason or Freddy, but Joe pop out hey, We ain't singing that note. You know what I'm saying? Like
both of y'all going to hell. But
adoration started it.
yeah, I think that's different. It'd be one thing if he was still alive, but
Really?
the fact,
Be worse. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I got you.
yeah,
I
like
get what you mean. I get what you mean.
I got you.
he a dead, you know what I mean? Dead man. Leave that man alone, man.
That's what I said though on Thursday's post, but I'm like, he's no different than all dads back in that generation. I mean, what dad wasn't like that?
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing new.
I'm pretty sure.
I would say that he was. I think his problem again, but that's another thing though. He wasn't. See, when you, in my opinion, when you are a parent, even back in that generation, no matter what generation you're in, you got to make sure that you and your spouse are balancing out your wants, desires, and needs for your kids. So his kids didn't have a childhood because his wife wasn't able to be like, no, let those kids go outside and play, which they should have been able to do. So I would say, of course, and that way he was a bad father because his kids didn't have a childhood. And no, back in those days, people's kids had childhoods, but at the same lane, he wasn't much different than most dads.
But was he bad though? Like I think bad is a strong term to use. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think it was horrible. I think it was horrible, but I don't think he was necessarily. The thing is, like, there's something that the Bible said about Noah. They said Noah was righteous in his generation. In his time, they were really, really evil in his time. So he might have been a drunkard. He might have did this and that. But in Joe Jackson's generation, he wasn't that bad. I'm just saying. In his generation, he was bad though. And my generation, I can honestly say he was a horrible dad, and I can understand the sons and maybe daughters. I don't know, feeling that the same way. I'm not saying that he wasn't bad. He was a bad
here's
father.
the thing. I mean, we've seen and heard of worse. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying there's not worse.
No. I know that. I'm giving you a perspective. You know, like we've seen and heard of worse. There's been fathers who are like, what the hell? I mean, look at Marvin Gaye's father. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Look at Bruce Jenner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying.
Girl. Did he abuse his kids?
I don't know about that physically, but mentally, if you over here sniffing around in your wife's drawers, putting them on, maybe even wearing your stepdaughters, you know what I'm saying, your daughters, there's something psychologically wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, we're talking specifically, are you a bad father? I mean, he's a.
So my conjecture is: are you saying he's a bad father because of their childhood, or are you saying he's a bad father because of other situations? That's the part I'm struggling with.
He's a bad father because of the way that he treated his children.
But I'm saying, what does that consist of? Like, what do you mean treated them? As far as what?
So, for example, take your children, for example, or let's take my future children, for example. If I have a child and my child's growing up and they want to explore and play, which is what, in my opinion, now everybody's different, what kids are supposed to do. And instead of that, I'm like, hey, you could be a great gymnast. So I force them to do gymnastics, whether they want to or not. I beat them if they don't stand up straight. They get in trouble if they don't play the right note. Like I said, in my opinion, now remember, because parenthood is opinion based, right? And that's why I said back in the day, parenthood was different, a little bit different. I'm not saying it was completely different. People's kids went outside and played. But from what I've heard, now remember, I'm a different generation. I'm younger, so I guess I don't really know. You guys probably know more of what has been said from the actual children, right? About how they had to grow up and what they weren't allowed to do and what they went through. To me, I think that if any of us were not allowed to play as kids because we had to perform, and I come from a musical family who we kind of did have to perform, but it wasn't that bad. But we talked about Joe Jackson a lot. Like, oh yeah, Joe Jackson made them stars. We had a band when I was a kid. And to be honest, I would say that it wasn't extreme force, but the slight force that we went through as far as having to be musical or do this and that, it definitely we're all at a point where we're like, wow, if we didn't have that much pressure, I think we would have actually did this thing. Because it was a mix between too much pressure and now I'm not going to do that to my kids. So I think it was like, if that had been the case, we probably would have been musical stars, but would have hated it. Would have been, I mean, we don't drink, but we probably would have been all drinkers, etc. So I don't think that forcing your kids to do something is a good thing, especially when it comes to something that's supposed to be enjoyed, created. I don't think that them having to get older and sneak out of contracts and be afraid because they don't like you. At the end of the day, in my opinion, and this is maybe a new day thought, I don't think as parents you should be gearing to force your kids to do your dream. I think that you should be trying to facilitate your kids into doing what they want to do. But when I say facilitate, I don't mean force. I don't mean if you don't do it, you'll beat. I mean, I don't mean stay up at night, forget about school. I don't mean that. I don't mean taking their lives and uprooting it to the point where when they get older, they're trying to chase life again.
No,
I know a lot of people.
I get what you mean. If I interject just a little bit,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, so because I totally get what you're coming from, and I respect that, and that's a good perspective. And looking at it in that aspect, did he make some mistakes? Yes, he made a lot of them. I'm not saying that he's perfect or he walked on water or anything, but to say that he was just bad and just put that stamp, I don't know, because when you look at it in hindsight, and especially in today's era, and if you look at it back then and understanding my parents and maybe their parents before them. No disrespect to my parents, even my pops, the one who raised me, but you know, I could have used a Joe Jackson in my life, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there is that aspect where certain things were sacrificed, but if you look at the totality, one of the things that can't be taken away from him was in the early ages, you know, he was a great manager and he had a business mind, and there was a lot of things that he instilled in his kids, especially like a work ethic. You know, watching the Jacksons live, I watched them live. Even up into their older age, they have a showmanship that goes beyond anything. Like you can still see the well-oiled machine of Motown and the well-oiled machine of Joe Jackson, how they were raised. Like, and then they instill some of that into their kids, and then the next generation. And again, Joe Jackson essentially made Michael Jackson a shrewd businessman. You know. So in one aspect, I mean, yeah, was he harsh? Yeah, you know, but a lot of fathers are, especially if you're trying to obtain the dream, because I think what Joe was trying to set them up for, and especially with Mike, because Mike was asking for him literally the days before he died, was that this world don't give a funk about your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like you can sit up there and but you know, he's trying to teach you, like, ain't nobody really gonna care. You got to get yourself up by your own bootstraps. You got to work twice as hard because you're black, you're a male, you're this. You got so many different stigmas against you. You have to work twice as hard. And he put a work ethic in.
Well,
Grace, you go first. I'll come back to you.
No, I just wanted to say, you know, I think I said it on the show before, but there's a wise adage that says, hard times build hard men. Hard men build soft times. Soft times build soft men that create more hard times. So whenever I think about parenting and that balance that you were speaking of, it may be a fine line, but I think as a society, we tend to overcorrect.
Okay.
You know, so I think we use Joe Jackson as a catalyst to overcorrect the accountability that these children are missing now. Joe Jackson seems horrible, but in 20 years from now, what are people going to say about this generation and their parents and the way they deal with adversity, the way they deal with critical thinking, and the way they just interact socially, right? We already kind of see it now. Like, these kids is like, what are y'all doing? You know what I mean? In this generation that I'm living in. So I think it's just, like you said, it takes a healthy balance, and I don't think everyone does a great job at it. I think a lot of people
No,
are just
definitely
trying to
not.
figure it
No.
out.
And that's one thing too, like you said, the balance, everybody doesn't do a good job at it. I think that the whole idea of balance is kind of a new idea. Let's just be honest. Back in the day, because people were like, well, why didn't the mom just be like, what the hell are you doing? Don't do it. Like, it wasn't like that back. I have to explain to you. It wasn't like that back in the day. She couldn't just be like, no, Joe, let them kids go outside and play. Now we're gonna talk. That's not how it was. He bangs the table,
Right.
you shut your mouth. It's a different generation. So I think that, and I said this to my sister. I said, when I really look at the totality of things, I think right now we have a lot of things on display. A lot of things are on the internet. People know what's happening more. Back in the day, people didn't really know. And my dad, he made sure that he told us things about, back in the day, how things were, the truth about some things. And I have a lot of old people friends. So a lot of stuff wasn't out there, but he explained to us, like, the front was always this beautiful, everything's together, family, everybody's great. But a lot of times in those houses, shit was crazy. I'm not sure if I can curse. I'm sorry.
That's very true. That's very
Stuff
true.
was crazy. So he's like, you have to understand, because a lot of, like, I see a lot of people in this generation talking about, I want to go back to how it was back in the day when things were da 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 da. It's like, things were what?
Adoration. Yeah, I can see both perspectives. In certain aspects, you got to kind of move forward, but then again, when it's one of the things where you yourself, because I didn't hear this until you brought it here on this show, the soft men era, where you look at some of these men who are literally seem like they got manginas and they sit down when they pee. I mean, that is a product of not probably having a Joe Jackson in the house.
But hold on though. I want to correct, because I think I did talk about Drizzle, which I thought was funny. All right, I thought Drizzle was funny. No doubt. I'm not really, and this is the thing that y'all probably be surprised about. This idea that people have of soft men. I'm not really sure exactly where we're guiding to it, but I'm not really against this idea. I don't like this, and understand what I'm saying when I say it. This idea of this macho Joe Jackson-like man. Me personally, I don't think that's
we will circle back, but again, we as men, if we see it, I'm telling you, there's something wrong. And we're not saying, like, again, there's mistakes, there's things where we can definitely evolve and correct. Like the one thing that the old adage of, like, oh, you can't show your feelings or you can't cry. I think that has to be thrown out the window. But then there has to be, like Quez was saying, an equal balance. Because again, the same people that you're crying in front of, there's certain people who really just don't generally give a funk about why you're crying. Certain people will actually use that as your weakness and as your downfall, and they know how to get inside your head, and they will use that. It's like in Training Day, where he said you got to know how to control your smiles and your cries. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know when to do it, and it's a balance. So so there are a lot of things we could learn from Joe Jackson, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? But to say that he was just bad when there's fathers out here molesting their daughters, taking advantage of their daughters, killing
everybody's
their kids.
Good compared to somebody. We're not talking about compared.
No, I know. Well, we do have to move on to the topics. We do got to move on to the topics. So real quick, we'll bring that back. I don't mean to cut off, but we are on the time limit. But for those, thank you for welcoming Where Are My Manners? Facebook, YouTube, Kick, please hit the share button, the like, share, subscribe. I'm out of all sorts, so please forgive me this time. But please share, and engage. The comment section is open. I got the link in the description. If you come on and you're using your phone, please use your headphones because it helps with the show. Also, too, no vulgar language. We are a grown-up show. We'll allow you to slip a couple of words, but nothing too vulgar because we just don't know who's watching. Also, too, just know that it's okay to agree to disagree. Just like how we were up here, we don't necessarily got to subscribe to each other's ideology, but just know that, hey, there's a perspective to be had, and maybe you could look at it a different way. Other than that, it's Friday. Some of us ain't got no jobs. Well, we off work. We ain't got nothing to do. We here to unwind and have a good time. But some of y'all, this is the panel. Some of y'all, I came to come get at you. I came to bring some smoke.
Yay.
But again, we're gonna have fun with it. It's just a different perspective. But I don't like some of the ideologies of some of these people who've been coming for me. Yes. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go ahead. We're going to show some love, and then we shall return.
Let's get it.
Most people live inside fields they never built. They wake up in environments shaped by other people's expectations, other people's demands, other people's fears. They react to pressure that is not theirs. They carry emotional weight they never agreed to. They misinterpret signals because no one taught them how to read the field. As a result, they move through life with scrambled emotional code, corrupted meaning, unstable financial decisions, inconsistent boundaries, fractured identity. And the worst part, they think it is normal. It is not. It never was. The sovereign frequency system exists to correct that. Across this book, you will learn 5 essential architectures. You will not be asked to push harder. You will be asked to move clearer. You will not be asked to dominate. You will be asked to calibrate. You will not be asked to fight. You will be asked to understand. This book does not teach force. It teaches field mastery. Your field determines your frequency. Your frequency determines your reality. Your reality determines your life. And once your frequency is sovereign, nothing external can override you again. Let us begin the architecture.
In San Bernardino at Melba's. Now we heard about them through a post on Instagram, and since we've been craving soul food, me and my fiance drove all the way from LA, plus we love supporting Black-owned businesses. When we got there, you can see so many locals very excited, waiting for their food. Everything's made fresh to order, the staff is super friendly, and they're really here to make you feel at home. We were so excited. I went with Melba's famous fried chicken. Just hear this crunch. It's fried good and it's super juicy. For my 2 sides, I went with potato salad and baked beans. Plus, I added on cornbread. Alberto ordered hot links paired with candied yams and mac and cheese. And with this reaction, it's safe to say that we're definitely coming back. Come support Melba's here in San Bernardino.
Yo, with mushroom coffee being on the rise as of late, I guess the best way to go is with Rise Coffee. And DJ Method X has teamed up with Rise Coffee, so make sure you use promo code METHODXSD15. Also, check out Method on TikTok at MethodXSD. Also on Twitch TV at MethodXX619. Let's go.
Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey is a brand of Tennessee. Whiskey honoring Nathan, Nearest Green, the first known African-American master distiller. The Nearest Green Distillery, located in Shelbyville, Tennessee, is the world's first distillery named after an African-American. Green is credited with perfecting the Lincoln County process, a charcoal mellowing method that defines Tennessee whiskey's smoothness. Get your bottle today.
All right, y'all. We are back. We are back. So we got some topics tonight. Gratuity versus Tip. Black Indians or Pretendians. And men declaring for the WNBA Draft.
What was that?
Yeah. But yeah, Quez, before we get into it, you know.
Oh man, Third, you got a word, man. What's the word of the day?
I got some words. Third's words for today is real versus what you feel. Just because you feel something does not mean that it's real. And just because something may be real may not be something that you quite may be feeling. I know I just hit you with a double shot of whoop and whoop, but it is what it is. Because again, we got gratuity versus Tip. But again, what is real versus what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people give what is real and maybe not necessarily what they feel. Then you got Black Pretendians and Indians. I mean, hey, this is maybe what they feel like and identify, but is it real? That's the question. Men declaring for the WNBA Draft, they're doing it more so to make a point, because again, what is the definition of a woman? And I guess by the standards of WNBA, and there are men who are challenging what they're trying to say. Well, we welcome everybody. So if you welcome everybody, and if I identify as transgender, then I should be able to play, right? So the underlining thing for today is real versus what you feel. So just remember, each topic is dealing with a certain level of reality and certain amounts of what you feel.
Yeah. That's a good word right there. I
Yeah,
will agree with you somewhat. You know what I'm saying? So
you said what?
I said I agree with you somewhat on it. You know,
Hey, whether you agree or disagree, yeah, it's all coming from your boy Third Degree.
hey, that's your word. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You
Words
got
big.
it, champ. You know what I'm saying?
Jess, adoration is waving at you.
What up, Jess? Welcome to the show.
Hello.
All right, y'all. So, which one are we going to dive into tonight?
We're doing all of them, right?
Yeah, we're doing all of them.
Whichever one you want to go first. It's up to you, Third.
Let's knock out this gratuity tip thing because I'm curious about what that's about. You know.
Word to Big Bird. Oh man, I did not create the banners. Give me a second, y'all. But yeah, so there has been a recent online debate of basically of a woman who is talking about tips versus gratuity, and she's given an education about what it actually means. You know what I'm saying? And so we will go ahead and we will show a video of what she is talking about.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another day. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another day in the life as a waitress. I just want to let everybody know that gratuity is not a tip. Gratuity is gratuity, and a tip is a tip. Let me explain. Gratuity is often split between all the waitresses depending on where you work. Out of that gratuity, the waitress has to pay the bartender, the person making your drink. Out of that gratuity, the server also has to pay the barback, who are the people who come and help clean up, make sure the tables stay clean. So when I give somebody a receipt and they look at me and they say, oh, gratuity is included, I say gratuity is included, but a tip is not. Gratuity is gratuity and a tip is a tip. And if gratuity isn't solely going to the person who's serving you and your server is treating you right, making sure you have everything, keeping your space clean, being responsive, and just, being a great server, then you should tip your server. And if you can't afford to tip, then you shouldn't be.
I never knew that. I just got educated. I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was with her till the end.
I mean, no, I just didn't know that information. I'm not even saying I agree that they have to tip, but I just did not know that information. I thought that when they added gratuity to the bill, they were saying this is the built-in tip. That's what I thought. So I'm educated today. Interesting.
Hey, you and me both, because that's what I assumed. You know
so
what I mean?
They trying to get us to tip the whole restaurant.
Right, and then tip again.
Oh, see, because I thought they were saying that gratuity we're building in. I guess we're charging more so that we can give our people a fair wage. That's what I thought gratuity was.
That's what it should be. I think her gripe should be more so with the establishment and not us.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the case. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't really see. I know that tipping is a culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tipping is a culture based on what you're learned, what you're raised. I mean, people like my mom said her first job, I think she was working at one of those ice cream places, and they were like, "We're only going to pay you this much because you're going to get tips." So people are told like, "Oh, you're supposed to get tips," and because a waitress, you can be mean or not. Basically be as nice as you can, and that way that's part of the job. Like you're supposed to get tips. That's why you're not getting paid a lot. And then we grow up like my dad always told us to tip. We got to tip every driver. We have to tip everybody. Like we have to do that. Mm-hmm. That's instilled in us because that's our culture. However, over here in Taiwan, tipping someone is offensive.
Really?
In the restaurant, yes. Basically, for them, if you tip them, it's almost saying like you are poor, you need a handout, or almost you don't work hard enough. Like it's just in their culture, right? But I mean, like I can tip a driver. I do tip drivers, and they appreciate it. They're like, "Thank you, oh man," because times are getting hard, so people are getting less cocky. But yeah, especially when I first came here, you would tip someone and they'd be like, what is that supposed to be? And I'm like, I'm nice.
That's interesting.
Different cultures.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that does make sense. But say, out here in Atlanta, gratuity is everywhere. it's like and when you go to these places, sometimes the gratuity is ridiculous.
That's
Right?
crazy. Yeah.
They already added in your bill. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll let you know, hey, gratuity is included in all bills. You know what I'm saying? So quite naturally, you assume you're doing, like you said earlier, the gratuity is to make sure that your servers get paid, whether you like their service or not, kind of scenario, right? Because let's be honest, a lot of people aren't big on tipping, especially if you got attitude. I'm a firm believer. If I get bad service, I'm not tipping you. I don't care.
No.
I don't care what you carry out here. I'm a lot of times I'll get out. If your service is horrible to start with, I'll get up and leave.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go through the whole process with you. But if you do your job and you do it effectively, you know what I'm saying, I'll make sure to tip. You know, even when I go to Jersey Mike's, I tip.
Mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you made my sandwich. I appreciate you. I tip.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they get a decent wage. They're not doing like waitress and waiter jobs. But like I said, the problem I have with her is placing the animus on the consumer and not the establishment. Right? If the establishment is taking gratuity and then they're passing it around the bar backs and dishwashers in the back, and you know what I'm saying, that's not really fair to you as an employee who's making $5 an hour and has to live off tips, and then you do the forefront of the work and deal with the immediate attitude or the immediate response of what customers need, and then you got to share that gratuity with somebody who's doing something in another section. I don't agree with that, so I kind of feel her there, but I don't think it's our fault. I'm not going to gratuity and a tip. You're gonna have to do cartwheels with my food and flip in the air and catch it on the plate type shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I personally feel. I mean, I'm not being facetious, but.
Oh, sorry, I had to go get my tea, so I stepped away for a minute. But the one thing I could say, why are you laughing at me, Jess? The one thing I could say is tips. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about customer service. I mean, I'm sure at one point we all worked in the field of customer service, and we just got back from Vegas, and I got to shout out the Palms Casino. Ever since they reopened it, they were bought out by the San Manuel brand. I hate using the word Indians, but that's what they call themselves. But the San Manuel brand of Native Americans, they bought out the Palms Casino in Vegas, and they totally gave it like a renovation. And the one thing I can say is, man, everybody that we encountered there were nice. I mean, but especially like the valet. Once they knew what I was in town for, for my uncle's funeral, they offered condolences, they gave me hugs, and I wasn't big tipper, but I gave them something. And one of the things the guy told me, because I didn't have a change right away, and I said, "Look, I gotta go break this, but I'll come right back." He was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So I went, I broke it, I came back, and I found him, say, "Hey, man," and I found him directly and say, "I didn't forget you." He said, "Oh man, thank you, I appreciate you, I really do." And as we were walking, he was like, "You know what? A lot of people say that they're going to come back and that they're going to tip, but then they don't. You actually did, and I respect that, and I appreciate you." And I don't know if he must have told the rest of the guys, because whenever he's, hey, Mister, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, you went back to California? Let me check the road for you to make sure it's clear. You don't have any traffic or any accidents. I'll put your car right here if you need to go. Are you in for tonight? Are you going to go? Okay, I got your car right here in the front. Don't worry about it. I mean, like, literally giving us hugs and new Jets, because Jess was walking with a boot. They were like, "Hey, you don't need that boot. It's just all in your mind." And just little things like that. They treated us with so much hospitality. Man, am I lying, Jess?
No, yeah, they were nice, and I did pay attention to what they did to other cars. Like when they got to us, they opened the driver's side and the passenger side. So yeah.
Man, I'm talking the bell.
I mean, that's the attitude of gratitude, though. You know what I'm saying?
But again, like, so Quiz, what I do literally, I take like a 20, 40, I break it down into fives, I tip them $5, whatever, here and there. You know what I mean? But even like the waitress that we went to, all in Jess's face, like, hey, try this. Hey, get this and add honey to it, because she got some sweet potato fries or something. And
she said, have you tried it with honey? I said, no, I have not. She's like, let me go get you some honey.
Man,
calling us sweetheart and all that stuff.
The bellhops bringing us our bags and man, just
brought us water.
We bragged about you, Adoration, because he was talking about, well, I'm just 1 year shy of retiring and I'm going to Thailand or whatever. Say, well, we got a friend out there, and what part? I'm like, I don't know specifically, but she out there, But it's the simple nature of gratitude. They whatever we gave them, they made it feel like it was $1 million and treat us like millionaires. So again, sometimes it's a matter of giving what you feel versus real, because sometimes your pockets be tight. You know what I mean? Right. But when we go in, especially in these groups, they add on the gratuity, and especially some of these high-end restaurants, it's like, yo, you're already charging us like $15,000 for a small piece of filet mignon or some steak. We gotta pay for this $130 steak. Then we gotta pay like $30 for sides. With $20 extra for sides. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's not forget you need something to wash it down with. But if you want to get the water that they don't get from the sink, and you gotta pay extra for the good water, man, shout out to that water that they brought us. Oh my God. You know what I mean?
But $10 a bottle though.
Yeah,
$10 a bottle of water
sink.
hot. But yeah, you know what I mean? And like Wes was saying, if you give me good service, I don't mind. You know what I mean? And I learned how to tip or tipping from my grandma. It's basically how people make you feel. And if you treat people right and you make them feel right, then they're gonna make you feel real good, So
Absolutely. And I think
sorry, Wes, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think it encourages people to have better customer service when they know. So I think gratuity takes away the ownership of them as an individual doing their job effectively. You know what I mean? Because now they know, well, I'm gonna get some money anyway, whether I'm nice to you, rude to you, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If I don't come back for 20 minutes with a straw, you know what I mean? Yeah, it don't matter because you still got to pay that gratuity. It creates a different level of, what I'm saying, the ownership and accountability for the servers themselves to make sure they give good service. That's all I was going to say. But go ahead, Jess. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just feel like the gratuity is too much. Like, if you're going to charge that, I most likely won't give you a tip extra on top of that because you know what I mean? It's already a lot. If you ask me, So like Quest said, I'm sorry you got to split it between all of the people that are involved in, I guess, making the whole process flow. But you got to take that up with the company, the restaurant you work for, because no.
Jess schooled me because, normally I pay with card, whatever she said. You got to have some cash and you got to pay them directly. And they split with everybody if you just do it with the card. So I made sure that, I keep cash, or if she has some cash, we give them whatever we have, especially if they give us great service. You know what I mean? Because I get, that, hey, you want to split it with everybody and teamwork makes the dream work and whatever. But splitting it with everybody, and especially when everybody ain't doing half of what this person's doing, going back, topping off drinks, doing this and doing that,
talking to the customers.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, no offense to the folks out there, especially in the restaurant world, but you're already getting paid, a good amount of dollar to make the food. And mind you, I'm not discounting anything that you're doing back there, because the restaurants we go to and the food that be tasting great, God bless your hands. But you are definitely getting a salary for that, I see
what you're saying.
Yeah. And what Third just said about putting it on your card, I found that information out from an actual waitress.
Wow.
So, yeah. So if you put it on the card, I mean, at least during that time, when I was at the restaurant, that's what they told me. So
wow. That's interesting. That's the thing. Like for me, it was more of an educational video because here I'm thinking, oh, we gratuities sometimes like 10%. Oh, we're tipping 10%, so we're tipping pretty good. Like the waitress, this is good for them. And now I'm finding out that's not the case. That's crazy.
I feel you're coming from, man. It's definitely a catch-22. Like I feel bad, you know what I'm saying? But like Quez was saying, because I sent Quez a video last night, we were going to talk about the Damon Darling getting banned from Walmart. When I sent him that, we're like, you know what? Now we got to talk about this. But, you know, he was like, yo, I was with her up until the very end. He said, well, if you can't tip, then don't come out. You don't know what I got in my pockets. You know, like I said, we already spending like $200, $300 just to eat, you know, for the experience, whatever,
for
you know.
2 people.
For 2. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, you expecting a big tip. Man, if you don't go somewhere, you know, because again, lady, you getting a salary too, you know what I'm saying? So unless not, especially if your attitude is mediocre, you know, because there's people who genuinely mean good service. There's people who are just doing it just to get by, you know what I mean? So we know that, you know, so in that case, I'm going to do what is real versus what I feel, you know what I mean? If I got it, then boom, you got it. If not, then you can go ahead and kick rocks, and you're still getting paid at the end of the night.
Yeah, I mean, I think
gratuity.
Say again.
No, I said on top of that gratuity.
How y'all say it? Clock it.
Clock it. No high five.
You clock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that it comes down. It's on an industry level. It's on a again cultural level. You get that job, and you're told that half of your salary is going to come in tips. So get the tips. And again, a lot of us are raised, and she's probably raised the same way. Tip. Like my dad, one time, we came home all together as a family. We used to rent these big, like, I can't explain, like buses basically, because we're just a lot of people. And so we came home, we all go inside, and dad goes, who paid the bill? Who paid? And mom's like, oh, I paid. And he's like, who tipped? And we're all like, who tipped? He's like, yeah, and he made us run around the city, go find the guy and tip him. So it's instilled so deeply inside of us because it's our culture. Why is it our culture? Because my parents, when they were younger, of course, worked probably their first jobs and jobs that half of their salary had to come from tipping. And so they see the other side of it.
Oh,
so I feel like it's not just us, but a lot of people in the US, that's instilled in them as a character flaw if you don't tip. Not saying that it is. I think we're finally getting to a place where we're realizing not necessarily that it's a character flaw, because we're all hurting for money right now. It's not just the waitresses. Everybody hurting for money right now. We're hurting, right? The whole world's hurting. So now we're taking a step back where it's like, wait a minute, I can get a double cheeseburger and not have to tip. I mean, you're not getting a double cheeseburger, you know what I'm saying? The companies need to pay more. And I think we're coming to a point where it's like, no, these companies need to pay these people. Because they are starving. No longer is it teenagers who are getting the majority of the waitressing jobs, the waitering jobs. Now regular people with children are having to be waiters and waitresses. And that's a different economy. That's not the same economy that, you know, I came up with. When my parents were like, oh, I'm a teenager, I'm gonna go get a job. My parents got food for me at home. A tip would be nice, but it is what it is. But now full-grown men and women with children are working. And they're like, what happened to the tipping guys? I need the money. And we're like, we ain't got no money. We looking at each other. We need to be looking at these companies. We need to be looking at our economy. We need to be getting serious about what we're allowing and being like, no, pay more money. Because if waitresses and waiters and waitresses were getting paid better, I think this whole tipping, and not just them, us too, because we would have money. This whole tipping tension that's coming on the rise because people are starving would be less of a crazy thing. People are door dashing to get this money. People are. But yeah, that's all. I'm saying.
No, you gave me a good perspective. I didn't think about it in that aspect as far as instilling it because it's culture. Because you're right. You know, back in the day, back in their times, I mean, they were getting paid like $2, $3, whatever. So some people were living off of tips, man. And you know, that is a great perspective. You know, so thank you for making making me see it that way, because that's crazy work. But you know, like you said, man, I don't know. It's like sometimes you want the experience, you know, because Quez is like a master chef over here. So if he wanted double cheese, this dude gonna go ahead and cook it himself. You know what I mean? But like he'll tell you, like sometimes it's when other people just cook it. You know what I mean? And but then like you feel bad for the people. You know what I mean? Wherever I go to the airport, especially if they're doing my luggage or whatever, I make sure I tip. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we keep tips for the servers, especially if they're great customer service. Man, but I don't know. But at the same time, the era that we're entering into is the entitlement era. I deserve this, and and sometimes it's like that attitude of entitlement is a turnoff for a tipper.
Yeah, I'll tell you real quick thing I do in restaurants when I go out to eat. Because like Third said, I hate going to restaurants, to be honest. I only do it for formalities like date night or, you know what I'm saying, anniversary. It's a formality to me because, like you said, most of the stuff I can cook at the house. I don't really need to go pay $80 for you to make me a steak, and I could buy 3 steaks and eat all 3 of them for $45. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't really need to pay y'all for that. But always, especially when servers are kind of not paying attention, when it gets to the end and they, I ask for the bill and all that good stuff, I always say, "Hey, what's my name?" If they can't tell my name, that's going to determine your tip. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
No, but it's serious, like, because you didn't care to know me. I'm just somebody passing through.
People they got to serve though.
Hey, when I go to my customer's house, I ask them their name when I walk through the door.
Yeah, when you have one customer at a time, sir.
I see several customers a day.
If you can, sorry, go on, Quiz.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's polite. You know what I'm saying? To ask people their names. But I asked that because majority of the time that person never asked me what my name was.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Hey, how you doing tonight?" "I'm good." Okay.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I feel like it's to each their own. It's your money. You get to do what you want with your money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I understand. I worked at a hotel. I didn't work at a restaurant, but I was the nicest person at my hotel. I got tipped all the time. So
Well,
I understand.
how do you feel when people ask you what your name is?
The thing is, I feel good, but I do understand. Here's the thing you have to understand. I haven't worked in not a restaurant, and I know it's even busier in a restaurant because you're going boom, 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 boom. But I think people not estimate, but they underestimate how much people are going through. Like when you are on the ground, you're running, you're moving, you're running, you're moving. In restaurants, I had my cook. He didn't show up one day for work. He was a young guy, and so I had to do breakfast and the front desk. My suit was soiled. I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm ever doing food again. Because that was crazy. Like I was running, and we had like 100 people down there too in our hotel. So I was just, and I think that people underestimate what people are going through. We say, "Oh, I would say hello to a person." You're not just a person. You are one of 100 customers at the moment. You know what I mean? And people in restaurants, they move out every 1.5 to 2 hours. So they're moving. Did they get a chance to remember your name? Even if they ask your name, probably not. Not saying they didn't, not saying they couldn't.
Right.
But it is not, those are the extra, and it's nice to do extra things. Like I believe in doing extra things to make my customers feel special. But at the same time, when I'm on the other side, I don't be like, "Oh, are they a good person?" Because did they ask me? They don't have that much time. They don't. And if they did spend that much time on one of their customers, you'd be over there like, "Where's my waitress? Come on, waitress, help me." And she's like, "Yes, I'm just trying to be nice to these customers and run the extra mile."
My fault. What's up, Bartholomew? 3956. What's good with you? Thank you for tuning in to Drop Your 3 Cent. Make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe button. We see you, fam. Thank you. Jess, close this out real quick before we go to the next topic.
I was just gonna say, it is very good if you do ask or even remember people who come in multiple times. Because when I did fast food, mind you, I really couldn't see because I work graveyard. I really couldn't see the person's face because we live in San Bernardino and everything was like boarded up. And so I had to push the little thing out to get the money for the order and then put their order in and then push it back out. So I really didn't get to see the face, but I recognized the voice. So when the person came, hi, and I'm like, oh, okay, hello, would you like the whatever, whatever, whatever? I remembered the person's order because I recognized the voice. So it's intentional. It could be done, but it's intentional. And that's if you care.
If you care. There you go. I like that, Jess. Thank you.
Clock it.
Way to sum that. Hey, bro, stop clocking me. I'm finna get on. I'm finna get on you in a second, bro.
I did.
Yeah,
it says.
We're not clocking nothing, third. I need you to stop, sir. We're not
I think he
clocking.
was hanging out with me and my cousin Chrissy too long this weekend.
Yeah, really. I'm gonna need you to chill out, bro.
Yes, definitely. All right, y'all. We'll be back. Adoration. If you have to go, we appreciate you. Thank you. We love you.
Absolutely.
I was hoping that you would come back for this one. Please, if it's just a connection issue, come back for the next one. All right, we'll be right back.
It's come to my attention that everyone's calling me a troll. Some said even king of trolls. First of all, I'm flattered. But I'm done with all that. I would never do a deal with DoorDash and quite literally deliver beef when millions of people are watching. I mean, who would do something like that? I'm not delivering quality beef. It's more of an art than science. Don't want to be too obvious. It's all about timing. And I'm always on time. Oh, they sell combs. What a coincidence. No matter what kind of beef you have going on this week, remember DoorDash delivers. And you know what goes great with beef? A bottle of this beautiful Branson cognac, aged 4 years or 50 months. Who's keeping count?
No, you ain't. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah. You wasted time.
Yo, with mushroom coffee being on the rise as of late, I guess the best way to go is with Rise Coffee. And DJ Method X is teamed up with Rise Coffee, so make sure you use promo code METHODXSD15. Also, to check out Method on TikTok at MethodXSD. Also on Twitch TV at MethodXX619. Let's go.
Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey is a brand of Tennessee. Whiskey honoring Nathan, Nearest Green, the first known African-American master distiller. The Nearest Green Distillery, located in Shelbyville, Tennessee, is the world's first distillery named after an African-American. Green is credited with perfecting the Lincoln County process, a charcoal mellowing method that defines Tennessee whiskey's smoothness. Get your bottle today.
Woo! We are back. We're back. We're back.
Wow, what you got going on, man?
We are in trouble.
It's that tea, huh?
Yeah, man. Hot tea. Hot tea.
Too much clocking. You know what I'm saying? Stop clocking the tea. You know what I'm saying? Stop clocking that damn tea. Drink it like a man.
You know, doing all that though, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You got. You know what I mean?
You look like a duck.
You know, I can't, but it's too.
Quack like
it looks like it's like saying like small, you know.
Yeah, just clack it.
Okay, you know, on that note, learning a new ish every day. Sir, you are hard-headed, mother sucker. I told you not to be driving 5-6 different states and trying to come back and do this show. You know what I'm saying?
We good. We good.
Your sanity, your virtue is more important than this. Drop your 3 cents.
Hey man, this is what we sign up for, man. You know what I mean? It's accountability. You know, I make changes at the last minute. I can't make that a you problem. I got to figure out how I can make it work, or you know what I'm saying? Take the responsible method and take the brunt of the force of not being able to be here, which I don't like to do. You know what I'm saying? So I make shit happen. That's what I do, champ.
I feel it, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time and effort. Thank you for everybody who's liking and sharing this. Thank you for the participators. Make sure you hit the comment section too. All right, so we got 2 more topics. Black Indians or Pretendians, or men declaring for the WNBA Draft. Which one are we going to?
Yeah. Which one gonna take the most time? What you think?
Black Indians or Pretendians? Yeah. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Oh no, there's about to be trouble.
Hey man. Hey, yeah. Before you get started, man, I do want to say it's funny how individuals have so much scholarship and bravado online, and then when you ask them to come expound upon their points in form in front of a panel where their thoughts can be challenged in real time, a lot of people cower away from that, and I don't understand it.
They do.
Yeah. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that out.
I was letting you cook for a minute. You know what I mean? I was smelling the aroma. I was loving what I was smelling. I was letting you cook. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, again, the thoughts, views, and opinions that are about to be expressed are by third degree and third degree only. If you need any type of smoke detector or smoke inhalation, whatever, king3rd.com, or you can go to king3rdd@gmail.com. I'm available at all times of day, baby. Matter of fact, no. You know, since I got it up and available, you know what I mean, for you, you know what I mean? If you need to, go ahead and get at me directly. You go ahead and just go here. Dr. 3, no, my fault. Ooh, the T. Dr. 3 cent at gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? Go here. All right. So, with that being said, oh, man, it's been all over my algorithm. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But Black Indians or Pretendians? You know what I'm saying? Again, what is real versus what you feel. Oh, man. Jeez Louise. So, there's been a lot of talk about, and I don't know where it's coming from, about pretty much saying that the history books lied to us. Blacks, we've been here. We're the real indigenous people of America, and all this other stuff, and all this whatever. You know, again, like Quez was expounding on, yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, essentially what you believe or what you feel, but versus what is real. And that's what we're here to talk about. You know, because I hear a lot of people now, it's just become a thing where it's like you're forgetting the aspect of, you know, of actual and factual facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, the one thing that's irrefutable is when you have science that backs up historical aspects. And the one thing that I could say is that, you know, there is people who take little stretches of the truth, Jess. It's like, were blacks here already in this land before slavery? Yes. Because and especially with you doing your ancestry, you've learned that there's this whole out of Africa theory where, you know, people have migrated out of Africa, they mated and bred with, like, you know, Neanderthals or Deprivans, you know, within Europe and Asia. And they had children, and then their children had children, and then they migrated out of those said countries into, you know, what we call the now United States of America. And the thing about it is, it's like, for you to sit here and to say, like, there were no blacks that came over with the present day Siberians, I guess what you'd say, the descendants of Siberians, is asinine. You know what I mean? It's absurd. Because, again, as you can see in certain parts of India, there are still people who are native to that land who look just like me and you. who are darker than me and you. There's people literally on islands that are protected that you cannot go to as a regular civilian, because if you go, there are common diseases, our common everyday life would actually affect them to where they would actually kill them. So they're isolated for a reason. We can't touch their island. They're still using bow and arrows. And we're talking about people who have been probably there since the beginning of time. So to sit here and say that, hey, there were no natives or no blacks here in this land is absurd. But the thing that you can't forget or seem to omit is that, yes, there was a time where blacks actually crossed over the Bering Strait with Siberians. They made it with Neanderthals and Deprivans and created a different lineage. And so we have haplogroups for a reason. So if you're essentially putting your hand in a bowl of M&Ms, you're going to come out with a great mix of people. So sitting here to think that blacks hadn't crossed over or weren't here already before, like I said, it's absurd. You have to give credit where credit is due. It's just not the case for everybody.
You talked about mating. This is before slavery?
Long before slavery.
Okay.
So think about millions and billions of years ago.
No, I get what you're saying.
Right.
I'm just saying, after slavery, that was not no mating. That was just rape.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the Europeans.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
So, man, look at my brother. He got his waves popping. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my fault, man. You know what I'm saying?
Surfboard, get the surfboard.
All right, on task.
All right, but the thing about it is, even with that being said, Jess, so you brought up a great point. Because again, me and Quez have had debates, about Africans, descendants in FBAs. He's of the FBA lineage. I'm more so of like we're African. But the one thing that I've learned within my ignorance was that, even the one who popularized the term, Tariq Nasheed, he doesn't believe that we are all natives and all this other stuff. And then there's people within the comments on Facebook, literally just, who were called this dude a dumbass or question his authenticity. And he's the one that popularized the term FBA. So what you're under this tutelage of calling yourself an FBA, a foundational Black American, blah, 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 but you diss the man who made the term popular, it doesn't make sense. The audacity. And I'm coming for you guys because, again, I had a lot going on. I had funerals last week, Vegas, different things, whatever. So, no, Here we are today, live, August 14, 2026. Third Degree got time. And I'm here.
Okay, man. So let me just frame this a little bit because a lot of the dissent around FBA comes from the fact that Tariq Nasheed kind of popularized the term or influenced its spread amongst the culture. But it's not a group. It's not like something you can join or quit. And he's definitely not the leader. So I always like to frame it that way because when you bring him into the conversation, people automatically default to that. Like, oh, he's the leader and he made this group up. And it's not a group. It's just, how can I put this? So naming things is powerful, right? Mm-hmm. In America, we've been named several things. Focus on the word. Like, we've been named certain things. We haven't chosen names, right? Even down to our surnames for a lot of us. We didn't get to choose them. You get what I'm saying? Right. We didn't get to choose to be Negro. We didn't get to choose to be mulatto, Black, even African American. Most people didn't choose that. So there's something very powerful in being able to name things. It not to get religious and biblical on y'all for a minute, but even in the beginning when God put Adam in the garden, what did he give him? He gave him the power to name the birds of the air and the fish of the sea, and like he gave him the power to do that because there's power in naming things. So FBA has become so powerful because it's actually something that the grassroots is choosing to designate themselves as. And it just makes sense. We were already Black Americans. You put a word in front of it, it doesn't change the previous connotation of us being Black Americans. We're just being way more specific about which Black Americans we're talking about. Right. So I just wanted to preface that because I know somebody's gonna get in the comments and say something crazy. And I don't be in the comments.
Truthfully, I give you kudos because I love how you broke it down. And truthfully, you explained this to me, but again, I could be hard-headed, I could be on my own little tip, you know what I'm saying? But eventually I'm gonna have an epiphany. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what you mean. So I think in that aspect, for you breaking it down for those who are like third, then I 100% agree with you on that. You know what I'm saying? And how it was broken down, how you broke it down to me was that, especially seeing the video we played it last week with Tariq Nasheed breaking down, him acknowledging that, we do come from African descendants, because the one thing that you can't negate, and this is the thing that and I'm speaking to you guys, and I say you guys because, again, not necessarily you, because I don't want to equate it to everybody within the FBA, because there's people with FBA who got great sense, apparently. But then there's people who are wearing this jacket or carrying this flag who are just complete idiots. Because, again, they want to sit there and negate the fact that or omit that slavery actually happened, or that there was no transatlantic slave trade. And to me, that is a disgrace and is disrespectful to the ancestors who literally were stolen or pillaged from their village or people, groups of people from Africa, people who sat up there and chose the sea over bondage, you know what I'm saying? Over the ancestors who were sit up there and, like Jess was saying before, repeatedly assaulted, by your European masters, you know what I'm saying? There are people who survived those Middle Passages in order to give us life here. So to sit there and to omit and to act like it never happened or existed, you're just as dumbfounded as the white people who try to spew that to us. And they try to distort or pervert history, you know what I'm saying? Because it actually happened, you know what I'm saying? And then you got people who get underneath this FBA banner and they talk as if the way that they speak, the way that they regurgitate without actually looking out facts for themselves, they make other FBA, they make FBA seem like it's a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's so like ignoring of all the other facts of all the other things, and this is what you got to believe. And truthfully told, it's just ignorance. And there's one cat in particular, I'm gonna call him Prince. I ain't gonna say out his full name. But you will sit up there and you will battle me saying like, hey, Google isn't truthful. It's not resourceful. But yet and still you tag me in multiple YouTube videos or multiple Facebook videos as resource. And so you're essentially saying that these Facebook videos or YouTube videos are more resourceful than Google, which can give you the tools that you need to actually hit the resources to educate yourself. It's blasphemy.
Well, and I think with every new thing, there's always some discomfort. But to push back a little bit, with FBA delineation, this is the most I've seen people kind of dogpile on something that was so simple, right? All it was we were saying, hey, we're foundational Black Americans because the term African American since 1996 had become convoluted. All you had to do was have ties to Africa to be considered African American, which, as we find out, Haitians have, Jamaicans have, anybody from the West Indies. All these people are of African descent. So when you get to America, you're technically an African American. So it's a kind of diluted term when speaking specifically about a people who didn't immigrate here and have been here since the inception and helped build the economy and quite frankly, the culture of America came from foundational Black Americans in terms of cuisines, in terms of music, dress, all of these great things, right? So us just naming ourselves bothered so many people's spirit is kind of what I look to. Like I don't pay attention to people who say the slave trade never happened and all that. Like it's like arguing with I'm not gonna say
real quick.
Go ahead.
This cat said literally the haplogroup E1B1 Europeans came to America, took the black natives and took them back to Africa. I'm like,
okay, yeah, that would make absolutely no sense. But that's why I don't be in the comments, because I don't have time to waste my life trying to debunk that nonsensical theory, because it's a waste of time. There's no purpose in anybody coming to America to take people and take them back to Africa to do what?
Right.
They're during that time frame, they were a nomadic people. So you taking people back to Africa and just setting them free so they could be nomadic with the rest of the people, like that doesn't make sense.
And then turn around and bring them back and enslave them.
Right.
Real quick, Jess or Quez. Jess,
go ahead.
Do you have any thoughts? No. Well, damn.
Hey, look, sometimes it's just time to be educated. That's cool too. But so yeah, I don't waste my time with those people. We before FBA hit the mainstream, because to be honest, I've been knew about it. I've been participating. I've been to FBA situations way back in 2020. They had a convention, where a whole bunch of people came together. And we're having these discussions about the importance and why they're renaming and all that kind of good stuff. So I've been a part in those type of activities way before it hit the mainstream and people had an issue. But I think a lot of the problem is coming from delineation is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people are used to Black Americans being at the bottom of the totem pole, whether they want to admit it or not. When people get here from other countries, and this is my other thing. People, the individuals in Africa don't have a problem with delineation. It's only the Africans that are here in America and Britain that seem to have an issue with us renaming and reclassifying ourselves. I haven't heard anybody actually from Africa that's living there at the moment. Me personally, it may have happened, but I'm saying me personally,
right.
I haven't really witnessed or been in a conversation where that individual is like, man, you guys shouldn't be doing that. We all are the diaspora. We all need to be together. And I would find it kind of disingenuous if they did do that, because there's so many real diaspora wars going over on the continent. So that's why I say I relegate this to the individuals that are here in America. I don't get into it with, all that other stuff.
Hey, hold up, Quest. I guess this may take over the NBA talk. We have a comment from YouTube. Shout out to Beat Active 8075. Nobody anywhere in the 99% of the FBA self-proclaimed themselves as the quote or parentheses, we know African descendants, which should literally mean that FBA are Black Americans. Anybody anywhere in the 90%?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to find better grammar. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying It's
What
hard to
should
put.
literally mean FBA or not Black Americans? Like, yeah. So what do you mean? Like, elaborate on that. Because
Like
so,
he's saying that.
well, wait.
Can you put it back
Just,
up?
yeah, I'm sorry.
It sounds like he's saying, because it says nobody anywhere in the 99.9% of FBA self-proclaim themselves as the we know African descent. Sounds like he's saying that 99.9% is saying.
Oh, that 1%. Right. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so Beat Active 8075. I played a clip of Tariq Nasheed breaking it down. He's saying he acknowledged that, you know, we come from Africa, this, and that. But but again, I gotta give credit to Quez because he broke it down too. And I didn't understand it until Tariq broke it down and spoon fed it, you know, in more of I guess you would say layman terms for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so essentially we're descendants of Africans. We came over from slave ships and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But essentially, like what Jess was talking about, if history and DNA, because DNA does not lie. You know, we as Black Americans carry African lineage, we carry European lineage, and we carry Native American lineage. You know, this is very true. So we're a different, essentially like a different group of Black people. And because Europeans were so well thought, I hate to give them this credit, but they took away our history. They took away our identity to where now people are gravitating towards, oh, I'm a Black Hebrew, or I'm a Black Israelite, or now I'm a Black this, or I'm a Black alien. I mean, it's just getting absurd to where it's like now we don't even know what we are. You know what I'm saying? So essentially what the whole FBA movement initially, I'm going to say, because there's people who took it and perverted it, it's essentially giving identity to a group of lost people. Because again, we came to America, we made it with different African descendants of different tribes, of different quote unquote colonized countries. And now we have babies, and then their babies have babies, and then their babies have babies with still no identity or knowledge of identity. So, you know, what the FBA has been doing is essentially taking back that power the Europeans had and taking it back. Like, no, this is what we're going to call ourselves because we've been here. We've been here since let's just say 1619, and we had to survive. We learned survival tactics. We built this country they built this country off of our backs. They laid down the blueprint and they made us work. And we built cities like Washington, D.C. We created different inventions. You know, we had to learn how to survive. And we became essentially a different breed of what our quote unquote our cousins in Africa are. And and when it was spoon fed to me like that, it was like a aha moment. And I agree. You know, it's 100%. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, to certain folks, you know, like me, I've taken the time out to actually want to learn where it is I came from. And now I know I got tribes that I could actually say, or groups of people that I can essentially attach myself to. But, you know, again, like if Quez would say, hey, we need someone to get down for the FBA, blah, blah, blah. Because, again, there's certain people who just don't know or they can't necessarily trace. Guess what? I'm going to step up and I'm going to ride with them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know people like Quez mean goodwill, and they're not sitting up there and omitting certain parts of history. And I can stand with that, and I can 100% support it. You know what I'm saying? It's just these dumbasses who want to sit up there and pervert the actual movement, because the FBA movement can be beautiful. It's just the dumbasses, man. And I'll play some videos to show. But I'm about to read your comments because you're really active in the.
Boy, please do.
Yeah, so I meant to write that nobody in the USA or the Afro diaspora cares if FBA delineate, because first of all delineate from what and who. Now break it down to the next. Plus, if 99% of FBA self-proclaim themselves as we know African descendants, what should literally mean that of FBA are Black Americans or not Black Americans? For the basic fact, the real Black Americans are African descendants, aka African Americans. What it means is that FBA has no history, no civil rights leaders, icons, or accomplishments. That's not all the way true. I get what you're trying to say, and I thought like that, and I'm telling you, it's not what they mean. It's other people who pervert that. Trust me. For simple, basic.
You didn't read the other one.
Oh, for basic fact that Black real Americans are African descent. I read that.
We already read that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just dropped another.
So for simple basic fact that all Black civil rights leaders, icons, and accomplishments were all accomplished by African descendants. Which proves the fact that FBA has no civil rights leaders, icon, or accomplishments. That equals no history, because without leaders, there's no movement, and without movement, there is no accomplishments. Also, if 99% of FBA self-proclaim themselves as we know African descendants, it should literally mean
be active. Where are you from?
It should literally mean that FBA are the original and only tethering themselves into the Afro-diaspora businesses, which absolutely nothing to do with we know Africans. You are keeping the comments lit. FBA, just like they are the original, and I get what you're trying to say. Hold on. And then lastly, hold up.
The links in the comments.
Yeah, I have it in the description, bro. If you want to come on.
Let's see. This is where conversations get. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you a prime example. When did we start calling places like Morehouse, Grambling, and things of that nature HBCUs? If anybody knows, we didn't start calling them historically Black colleges until like 1969. But they're still historically Black. We just renamed it in 1969. They were just Black schools then, right? They're just more, but we had to add a designation to them.
Hey, wait, real quick. Play two pick questions. The link, if you go to the description of the video, it's in the description of the video on YouTube. And Be Active says Puerto Rico. Link to join Chaotic. Again, Chaotic. If you go to the description, matter of fact, I'll create a post right now with the link, and you can come on too. Okay. Or if you need, hold on a sec, Quest.
Go ahead, you got it.
Because I want to iron this out. Because trust me, I get what you guys are trying to say, but it's not like that. I had an aha moment. And trust me, drop your 3 cents at gmail.com. If you hit that email, I'll send you the link on the spot. I got my phone ready, but the link is in the description on YouTube. If you look for the video description, go to the link that says to be a guest.
Quick question for Beat Active, since you're so active in the comments. Are you Puerto Rican, or are you just living in Puerto Rico? Because that distinguishes how we gonna have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because and I think that's where foundational Black Americans get frustrated in the conversation, because people keep trying to tell us who we are, right? You're Puerto Rican, right? Okay, you're Puerto Rican.
Hey, Chaotic True, are you good to join on? All right, cool. Thumbs up, good.
Let's get it. But yeah, I mean,
Chaotic True, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Can you hear me, buddy?
I hear you great.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Hey,
where you calling in from, brother?
Northeast Ohio.
Okay.
What cities are there?
Yeah, I had to think about what's Northeast Ohio, like
Cleveland, Rocky River, Cleveland Heights, East.
Got
Cleveland.
you.
Okay.
I got family in Cincinnati, so I wasn't sure exactly where
that's
that
like
was
4 hours south, but okay.
All right, bet.
Right on,
okay.
right on.
Hey, welcome
to the show, bro. Man. What you got for us today?
Nothing much, man. I'm listening to you guys, man. You guys, what's the topic for today? Black Indians or Pretendians? I saw the topic and I just just wanted to hop on the panel.
Yes,
I'm just an American, so I'm just trying to call in and I guess give my 2 cents, quote unquote.
3 cents. We 3 cents.
Drop your 3
3
cents. There you go.
So what
Hey,
are
look.
your 3 cents, brother?
I think that everybody should claim if you are living in the United States, you should claim to be just an American. You should drop everything else and just claim to be a good old American. America's the greatest country.
I can see that in well, expound upon that for a little bit.
America's the greatest country on the planet. It's the greatest country on the planet. The human rights that we have here, the checks and balances, the court systems, everything is great here in this country, man. And I've traveled outside the country, but the more I've traveled within the interior, I've seen like the beauty of this country. The terrain, the wildlife. It's just it's a beautiful country, man. I wish that people would really fall in love with this great land that we live on. And if I had any kids, man, I would tell them, man, fall in love with this country. This is who you are, man. You are an American. Race means nothing. I'm sorry.
No, I would say no doubt.
Yeah, race means nothing. One thing I can say about America is like there's no tribalism here. It's one unified country, and I hope this country lasts thousands of years.
No doubt.
Quick question, Chaotic Truth.
Yo, do you have 360 waves, by the way?
I mean, a little something slight.
Okay.
I mean, that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I had waves. Okay, yeah, okay.
That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the acknowledgement, but no. So I could almost agree with you up until a certain extent where you say there is no tribalism, and that there's no differentiation of people here. That's where I have to disagree with you, because you spoke about civil rights. You spoke about
I didn't speak. I never mentioned civil rights.
That was beat active.
No, I'm saying he was saying why America was great, like our civil rights, and I say
our rights. Civil rights is different from
Well, our rights in general. Okay. I instantly think about civil rights because we had to fight to make the rights that America wrote down on paper actual reality. So when people bring up the rights, I instantly insert civil rights because up until 1965, those rights only applied to a certain, for lack of a better term, tribal people, right? Because if we're gonna be honest about America, I don't want to sensationalize America like when you come over here is better than everywhere else and there's no problems. And I think that's where a lot of people get it confused. There's still a racial hierarchy when you get to America.
Really?
Right? Okay. Whether society likes to admit it or not, we're actually living through a plague of it at this very moment. You know what I mean? There's a conversation being surrounded around where young white males feel like they are being ostracized or attacked in America at this moment. I don't see how, but I hear the conversations. But systematically and statistically, the facts prove otherwise. So it's kind of, to me, a little disingenuous to pretend like there is no tribalism in America when, to me, I would consider YT supremacy a tribe because they get on code when it comes to their tribe, no matter what, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, whether it goes with or against the Constitution and the rights that are put on paper. And I think the only other tribe holding them accountable to that paper that they wrote out would be Black Americans, in my personal view. That's just how I personally feel.
DY3, it's a Friday night. You are a millennial. Yes, you are a millennial. Yes.
Absolutely.
I bet right now you probably have about $500 on you in cash. Yes?
In
Yes.
cash?
Yeah, in
On my
cash.
person?
On your person, yes.
I don't have no cash on my person because I don't
But how
keep
much are
cash
you worth?
on.
Okay, but
Am I
you're worth you're worth $500 or more, right? Yes.
definitely more? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I add context to your question.
I
Wait,
bet
can
right
I-
now you I
Wait,
bet
hold on,
right
hold on, hold
now.
on. Go ahead, Jess.
No,
I
I was
bet
just
right.
curious. What generation are you from?
I was born in '84. I'm a millennial.
Okay.
I bet right now you are worth more than 90% of the human beings on the planet.
Well, if yeah, globally, if you put it in that perspective,
So
yeah.
you are you are worth more than 90, and I would even argue probably even more. You are worth more than 90% of people on the planet. There is no white supremacy. You are you as an American are the supreme person, bro.
See, but that's
You're worth more than poor ass whites globally. You're worth more than poor ass Asians, poor ass, Africans are poor. You are worth more. I'm willing to bet you have a.
I get what you're trying to say.
You have a Maserati outside, yes. You have a Maserati.
We do not. Let me
Bro,
ask you
you're
a question.
rich. You are a rich person. You're not. No, bro.
No.
Wait. Hold on.
No.
Wait, I'm gonna let you rebut. Hold on. But we have Beat Active. Hey, Beat Active, if you want, you can hit the link too. You can come on.
We're not reading nothing else, man. You wrote a dissertation in the comments.
Because I appreciate it. Stop, man. I appreciate being in the comments. Question
Hold
for
on,
the
real quick. I'll be right back.
Hold on.
The problem. The problem
wait,
is.
Let me read this real quick.
Sorry.
Question for the FBA, ADOS, and the rest of Pretendians. Where did the coiled afro woolly type hair texture and DNA in all FBA ADOS premiums come from? I agree with you. In which of the real original indigenous tribes anywhere in the entire American continent was never described as quote? Yeah, you got a point. And Floyd Miller, he's laughing. Hey, so both of them left, man. Hot dang. But the thing is, it's like I hear where homeboy's coming from, and I still got some further questions. But the thing about it is that even white European Americans, right? Even still today, the white Americans, you have some who are saying that they're German Americans, who they're Italian Americans, Swiss, Dutch, French, Spanish. Am I correct, Jess?
Yes, you're correct.
So what is wrong with certain black people saying like, hey, this is where I come from? Again, by default, we are Americans because we are born here. You know what I'm saying? There's no question around that. But at the same time, people who look like me and you are still getting persecuted still to this day. Why is the fact that Nolan Wells' mom is having to fight, for some type of answer for what happened to her son? Why did we even have a civil rights era where we had to essentially basically fight for basic rights to vote, basic rights to live, basic rights to dine amongst people who are supposed to be our peers? So I get what you're saying. Essentially, like we have come a long way from from the inception of slavery up until now, but we still have ways to go because again, racism is a thing that's been taught from generation to generation to generation. So there's nothing wrong, and especially when you have Mexican Americans who say, well, they're here in America, I'm Mexican American, but they're acknowledging their descendants. We as black people, at one point, it was blocked off to where, again, we got people talking about their Israelites, their Hebrews, or whatever. And here we are today. You know what I'm saying? So what is wrong with acknowledging essentially where you come from or establishing a new identity?
Well, you just asked two different questions. Kind of at the end of that. I was with you when I was with you. So I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging where you come from. And I also don't think there's anything wrong with creating a new identity, right? People do it all the time. Look at Bruce Jenner. But you know what I'm saying? you be what you want to be. I'm not here to argue those facts, but when it's rooted in substantial evidence and people keep trying to ignore it, it becomes a disingenuous, bad faith argument. And to answer be active, because there's plenty of depictions and documentations of woolly haired, cold afro type people that were written about in the Americas by Christopher Columbus, who quote unquote discovered it. Lewis and Clark, Estevanico the Moor. There's plenty of documentation. You just have to read and search. So there's large pieces of evidence. A book, They Were Here Before Columbus. You can read that. It's a lot of documentation in that. I always refer that book to people who want to argue this fact. But neither here nor there. There's nothing wrong with either one of these conversations. But I just think that the Black Americans are the only people who are constantly reminded that they're lost and that they don't know where they come from and that they have to find some purpose somewhere other than what they built here, which I have a problem with, me personally, because before I get all the way back to Africa, let's just say 1619, right? America's only 250 years old. 1619 puts us at almost 500 years, right? So I got to erase 500 years of lineage to get to some connection in Africa. And I got to erase that 500 years we spent building this country from the ground up, which I'm not willing to do, me personally. I'm not willing to do that. And just like in the clip you played earlier about Wycliffe John, okay, right, Floyd Miller. But like with Wycliffe John, even though he had, you know, a large percentage of Haitian, of African DNA, yeah, Nigerian, it still didn't change the fact that he's Haitian. And I didn't hear him say
because he was born in Haiti, right?
Yeah, but he not once during the interview, because I watched it, did he say, well, since we found out that I have this ancestry of Nigerian, I'm gonna call myself a Nigerian Haitian, or now I finally found myself. He still considers himself a Haitian. It's good that he can try something, you know, to back to Africa, but he's not willing to give up his Haitian heritage that they built over there, because that means they would have to ignore Dessalines and Louis Vuitton and the 1804 Haitian Revolution. You would have to erase all of that and consider that basically irrelevant to say, well, now I'm Nigerian because now I know where I come from. The only reason I was able to do that is because I'm Nigerian, and Haitian doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's fair. Hey, Chaotic, what are your thoughts? You're on mute, bro.
No. Yeah, I am just listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I wish this gentleman would just hit the link. Come on, be active. This didn't I preface it with this conversation?
I know all the documentation, but in none of those documentations say nothing about indigenous having quote afro woolly type hair of being black.
Yes, it does.
Which is disrespecting the Tainos and other indigenous of the American ancestry as much as respecting African ancestry.
Can I leave
what were you going to say?
Go ahead.
The only thing true within the universe is mathematics. Everything else is what you believe it to be.
It may be subjective, but
all I'm saying is whatever you guys believe about history, it's your opinion. Math is the only thing that is absolute. So we don't really know, right? I was born in 84. The only thing I know is from 84 on up. For all I know, everything could be lies. So that's all I'm saying.
Really?
Well,
Like the
I
civil
mean,
rights era
that's
was a
one
lie?
perspective.
The civil
That-
rights
that's a
era
great-
is bullshit. Well, I mean, in
If
my
it wasn't
opinion,
so well documented, you know what I'm saying?
in my opinion, I think blacks were better when we were by ourselves.
I agree with you.
Break it down.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think it was better when we were by ourselves. When the economy was based on black entrepreneurship, the buying of black goods and services.
Mhm.
And I'm not knocking whites or any other groups of people, but why do we have to beg to be at the counter of some white people's restaurant? Fuck them. We could build our own goddamn restaurant. Fuck them. So
Hey, what-
sorry, go ahead.
let me just add some context with, because I'm of the liking of that sentiment until an elder gentleman had to bring it to my attention that movement was necessary. Now the results of it may not have been what we wanted, but it was definitely a necessary movement, because even though we were prospering amongst ourselves and doing great amongst each other as far as schools, hospitals, entrepreneurship, all of those wonderful things we were doing during our segregated vision here in America. The one thing that we could never account for was the flash mob of racial bigotry that would show up and burn these towns down. That would show up and wipe out all of that progress in a matter of 24 hours out of jealousy or false accusations. So do you keep playing that game, or do you make it
let's assume
a nationwide? Do you make it a nationwide acknowledgement that you say pull yourself up by the bootstraps? We did that. Every time we do that, you guys come and sabotage us. So now that we can't be left alone, because people don't understand, segregation wasn't a two-way street. It was a one-way street. White people can come into your space at any given time.
Well,
it was you as a black person couldn't go into theirs.
Right. Hey, real quick,
and
third
that
degree.
was the problem.
Yes, sir.
Third degree. You're about 6'1", 6'2". Yes.
6'1". Yes.
6'1". Okay. And that's your wife. Yes.
Correct.
I bet you would gun somebody down right now if they disrespected you and your wife. If they caused an actual physical harm. Yes. You would.
Without question.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
DY3, you wouldn't let nobody run up in your house and take. I'm pretty sure you look like a guy with kids. You wouldn't let nobody take your kids away from you, bro, without a fight.
Absolutely not.
Bro, could it just be honest? Let's assume, bro, that everything you said is true, brother. That would only mean your grandpappies and great grandpappies were coward ass bitch niggas.
Whoa. See, two things can be true at the same time. Because
I was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that our ancestors were punks like that. I believe a lot of that shit was lies.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know what happened back then, to be completely honest with you, other than what they wrote in history. We don't really fucking know.
I mean, I kind of do, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, bro, to be honest with you, man, people bring up Rosewood, people bring up Tulsa. Well, your ancestors were too much a coward bitch. They were just cowards and bitches and couldn't fight to protect it. Because here goes the thing. If you could protect your family right now, the very same women, they call you a bitch and a coward right now for not protecting what you got right now. They don't give a fuck if you were outmanned or not. They say you was a bitch. And so that's how it is now. So you mean to tell me that we can't call these coward motherfuckers bitches? We can't call. To me, that's how I look at these old people. Let's assume everything back in the day happened the way they told us. No disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but with all due respect,
they straight bitch. Well, no. Let's go by how we treat each other now. Oh, you's a bitch because you call somebody a bitch right now for getting punked right now. And women would do it. You could never argue with the woman now because she'll say, "Oh, you didn't do that to that dude right there." So the thing is that if the white man did do these things in Rosewood and Tulsa, well, you was just a bitch. You couldn't figure out how to protect yourself because now hear me out.
I'm listening.
Supposedly the black man is the oldest man on the planet.
Right.
You mean to tell me we had a 50,000, 100,000 year head start and we couldn't keep these white people from being our asses? Oh, you's a bitch. So in my opinion, I apply the same fucking thinking that we do now to back then. Same thing with Emmett Till. Emmett Till's uncle, go watch the videos with his uncle, right? Now his uncle like 59, 60 years old. Well, shit. Joe Rogan is 60. What's the black guy? He plays Spawn.
Michael J. White.
Michael J. White. He's 60. I've done jujitsu. I can never beat Michael J. White. He could be 70. I could beat him. So they interviewed that hoe ass N-word to Emmett Till's uncle, and he was about 59, 60, and everybody made excuses for him. But they won't make excuse. I bet you they would never make excuses for Michael J. White, and Michael J. White can fight. So the thing is that everybody picks and chooses, right? So I don't know what happened back then, but all I do know is this: if we lost, they were bitches, man. They were just some straight bitches.
I kind of get where
they
you're
got
coming from,
punked.
but like
don't.
you said,
I don't
kind of
at
get where
all.
you're
They got
coming from.
punked. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I bet you every woman looks at it the way that I do. Man, y'all got beat.
So, Quiz, I hear where
you should figure it out. You should figure it.
So the one thing I could say with my history, because again I researched, and you were saying like, well, we don't know, and I agree. Floyd Miller said, nah. Yeah, I agree because one of my ancestors literally was the head of a revolt, and literally got beheaded and had his head placed up on the stake, and
he died an honorable death.
So
I'm saying he lost, he would be a bitch. That's what you said.
No, he lost. Honorable death.
He's saying that
being a bitch is what Martin Luther King did, marching and protesting to sit at some white man's counter.
Oh man, come on now.
Now fighting and getting killed. Now, in my opinion, fighting and getting killed, that's honorable. But marching and protesting to be friends with these fucking supposedly white people who hate you, fuck them. To me, that's the difference, man. If at least you could fight, but you didn't fight. You marched and protested for these motherfuckers to like you. Fuck them. That's how I feel about them. Fuck them.
Yeah, I think Floyd Miller saying this guy. You know what I'm saying?
It's a very but we gotta listen. It's a very interesting perspective.
It's a perspective, to be had. I don't agree. You know what I'm saying? Like again, Martin Luther King did give up his life. Malcolm gave up his life. Megan.
How do you know that?
His life.
How do you know MLK didn't get killed in the dice game?
He was right
seriously,
there,
bro. Like the white man told you
he was right there on the balcony. You know what I'm saying? Like again, there were multiple witnesses. He was just standing there.
Name one witness. Name a witness.
Jesse Jackson. Who was the other dude?
Oh, okay. So dudes ain't gonna lie. What if they were in a dice game in a hotel room and it was a shootout? Bro, we never know what happened with MLK, man. To be honest,
you got pictures of him sprayed out. What are you talking about?
You mean to tell me that?
I kind of get what he's saying.
I get what he's saying. He's saying it's history. If you weren't there to see,
he's my own fraternity brother, and I'm saying it. He's my fraternity brother, and I'm saying it. And I made videos about this shit. How do we know this stuff about the pet? Third degree. Let me ask you a question.
Shoot. No
Maya
pun.
Angelou. She fought for black people, right?
Yes.
Go to Google right now and look up each and every last one of her husbands. Go to Google right now and look up what she did when she was in her teens, her teenage years, her 20s and 30s. That's all you got to do, bro.
You talking about when she was a dancer?
We are being lied to about these people. I ain't even gonna say what she did. All you gotta do is look it up.
Well, I know what she did.
Look at what Maya Angelou was when she was in her 20s and 30s, bro.
Absolutely.
These people ain't, bro. Like, honestly, bro, you could never brainwash me.
You saying because she was a prostitute?
I bet you this, Third Degree's wife, no offense. I bet you if Cherokee started doing poetry, you wouldn't, Cherokee?
She don't know Cherokee.
I said, I'm asking you. You know,
no,
Cherokee.
I know.
Yes, that's what I said. That's what I said. I bet you know Cherokee. I bet you if Cherokee did poetry, and if you had a daughter, and if your daughter said, "Hey, man, it's an old woman named Cherokee who's doing poetry," you say, "Whoa, who?" Man, we would never respect that. Man, we were being lied to when we were kids about these people. Because you wouldn't let Cherokee say poetry and have one of them kids respect it. Hell no.
People change. I mean, here's the thing. People change.
But hold on. Time out.
Would you let Pinky do poetry? DY3.
Didn't you just say
at 60?
No, listen. Didn't you just say that America is the greatest country on earth, right? You said that.
It is.
You said it, right?
It is.
The same America that stole people, raped women, fed children,
how do you know they raped them?
That held you in captivity for hundreds of years. You let them tell you they great.
DY3, how do you know that they were raped? How do you know that? Most
DNA.
Women. How do you
know
what
I'm saying? If we're gonna be honest, DNA.
Bro, like seriously, how do you know that these women were raped? How do you not know that they were just attracted to white men? Most black women right now, bro. Let a white hey man,
you see why I don't be in the comments third? You see, right? That's why I don't go in the comments.
Brother, let Bradley Cooper. Who's the dude who plays Superman? I forgot his damn name.
Dean Cain.
No, the new one. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. Not Christian Bale.
I don't know. I don't care.
Let Bradley Cooper walk into a room full of black chicks. Bet you they'll all be trying to get with him. Them white boys weren't raping no black women back then. Truth be told, most of the black women back then look like goddamn Harriet Tubman. They ain't had to grape them women. They probably were giving it up any goddamn way. What are we talking about?
Whoa.
I live in reality.
Hey, it's been a great night, man. It's been
my apologies.
Gotta go, man. It's been amazing. Gotta go. Peace. Let's wrap this shit up, G. I'm not doing this. This is why I don't be in the comments, third. I told you. This is what you get into in the comments.
Hey,
you got to debate this. This is what I got to debate.
We got what we asked for. Hold up. Let's go back. So Mississippi. Like you said,
what we got to argue with.
It's perspective. So, sir, I had to. It was getting absurd. Okay, here's the thing. So slavery happened, right? 17, whatever, to 1865. People were property. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure were there some love stories? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, no. Because, the white men were literally over here sleeping or taking advantage of black women, which is why you have black men pretty much like yourself who have a haplogroup of R, which is European. You know what I mean? Which is why, again, even myself, I'm at a good 22%. I don't believe it was a love story, sir. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. Especially when my relative was born in 1864. You know what I'm saying? To a white man and a black woman. In 1864, in Louisiana, during slavery, Well, I don't think it was no Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, I understand. we got to get a screener, bro. So Dwayne said Mississippi had the Deacons of defense fighting back. Tulsa had the
Salute
African
though.
black brother.
Chaotic is the perfect name. I will say that.
Yeah, he
Chaotic
caused
truth.
chaos, but so was the devil. Floyd Miller says, and now number population has to be more strategic than just running into bullets, bro. We've had multiple strategics working different plans for hundreds of years. Why can't you come on? Why can't you come on, man? And you said it bled you. Hey, salute to you, man. Your perspective was chaotic and crazy, but that's what it is. It's your perspective, and we gotta respect it. I don't agree with that at all, man. And truthfully, I don't want to smoke or sip on whatever it is that you got going on. I'll sip to my safety.
No, but we definitely appreciate you, my guy.
I appreciate you, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate, because like I said, most people won't get up here and try to even articulate their point. You know what I'm saying? So I give you kudos for coming up here and standing on your square. No matter whether we agree or not, I appreciate you doing that much and actually being able to articulate it to the best of your capabilities. Now, do I agree? Hell no. But I appreciate it. Gave me something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Yeah, definitely email Third. Yeah, email him everything.
Thank you, man.
Send him all the stuff you got. We need it all.
There you go, man. You need the email. I hate quiz. Oh. Drop your 3 cent gmail.com. Now we diverted a bit. Are we good with time real quick? Do we need to just
go ahead and time, man? Come on, man.
All right. Jess, you good?
Sure.
Oh Lord.
Jess is exhausted.
I'm about to get an earful when we get off this. She goes, first of all, you tall. She'll look at me, you tall son of a. Why? Why did you bring me to this? Why Third? Why?
No, that was entertaining though. I try to let bro get it off, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just...
Hey, chaotic. Seriously, thank you, because a lot of people are scared, so I appreciate you. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to respond to this. Watch this a little bit.
Keep saying this, that, and the third in my comment section. So I'm just going to say it. You are not African American. Yeah, I said it. But before you run to the comment section, let me explain. Because by the end of this, you will have a completely new perspective about the term African American. If you're new here, we just don't make claims without backing them up with evidence. So there are 3 big reasons why I can confidently say you're not African American. But before I tell you, let's just use a little common sense. Let's just say you look at the state of America and you think, I'm done with this. I'm going back to my roots. So you take a little DNA test and book a one-way flight to the country with the largest percentage of your DNA. But when you hop off the plane and set foot in that African country, you realize that DNA test did not give you one name or village for you to reach out to. Now, I'm sure that the African people in whatever country you choose to go to will be hospitable, but they will all tell you that you are not African. But what about the evidence? Because I did say we back up on claims around here. So here are the 3 reasons I can say with confidence that you are not African American. The third one's gonna mess you up the most. Number 1, that DNA test you just took can't connect you to a single living person on that continent. And that's not a coincidence. You see, when Africans came among the indigenous people, all you had was what someone whispered to the next person before they died. My mother used to tell us that our grandfather used to say he was Cherokee. And I believed her, but she didn't have a document or paper trail because they didn't give enslaved people paper trails. All they had was each other's word. And now the history books want you to believe their narrative instead of your own family tree. Number 2, and this is where it starts to get crazy. They were already here. You see, when colonizers came over to the Americas, they wrote down what they saw. And they said that they saw dark-skinned, melanated people thriving on this land way before slavery. That's not a theory. That's in their records. But here's what they don't teach you in school. In addition to bringing slaves from Africa, they also enslaved the indigenous people who were already here. So after the 250 plus years of slavery, our lineage became blended with some Africans and the indigenous people. Now I need you to stay with me for number 3, because this is the most important one. But before I tell you, if you like what you're learning, go ahead and like the video and follow if you want to see more posts like this. All right, number 3. Colonizers changed our family's names, which helped confuse our lineage. When Africans arrived on this soil, slave traders
Shut the funk up. All right. So here, yeah. Again, this is where I was talking about, where it makes people or people like that. You know, saying Dwayne said, "Seemed like he's trying to get known by being outrageous." Maybe. And then her perspective is just complex, idiotic, uneducated, informed, and trying to manipulate. Agreed. So here's where we're gonna go into the first thing, which said, "There's not a DNA test that can connect you back, ma'am, sir, whatever you are." We on this very show brought up a thing called AfricanAncestry.com. It's black owned. Dr. Kittles is an African American scientist and geneticist who actually take the time to trace the 2% of your DNA back to Africa. So there is that. So we're rebutting this real quick to show how ignorant she is. Number two, she said that there's not a DNA test that can connect you to a single living person on Africa. Well, let me go back. So we just last week, Jessica did her DNA test, and we showed you that she connected with the Tikar people living in Cameroon. So there goes that lie. That was debunked. Also, let's go to, she said that you cannot connect with a single person living in Africa. So there are people or groups on Facebook or certain people who actually take these DNA tests and send them back to Africa, or they test villages and groups of people. This is me right here from a guy who is 100% African, and I just typed in Nigeria.
I got one too in my family history.
Yeah. But see, again, this fourth to third cousin. So again, we're talking about me and him share great grandparents who essentially lived on the continent of Africa, fourth to great. So that means like 1700 to 1800, which aligns up with the quote unquote slave period. So if you don't believe, so here goes his breakdown of his actual ancestry. As you can see that he is 100% African. As you can see me, I'm not quite so much because of the abuse that was taken on with the Europeans. So again, that was a lie. And if you need further proof, here goes his family tree, which pretty much breaks down. These are his grandparents that were born right here in Nigeria. So on both his mother and his father's side. So somewhere along on that aspect, I share great grandparents with this guy who was born in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So let's furthermore go into it. Oh, this is a person who I met. She was actually born here in California, but both her parents are African. Father's Nigerian, mother's from Liberia. You know what I'm saying? And so here goes another thing. Here goes her breakdown. She's 100% African. As you can see, I have a little bit of milk in my chocolate, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? But that debunks her whole theory. And that to go back to what she was talking about, well, slave masters changed the name, water's wet. But it's essentially the reason why I was saying that, people like her are the reason why people look at FBA, you pervert the movement. Because again, it could be a beautiful thing, but people like her just really pervert it.
I didn't hear her say she was FBA, but okay.
She is FBA. Her whole thing says FBA legacy, Like it's really her whole jacket. Seriously, I'm not making it up.
I'm just saying I didn't hear it. It was a clip, so
I cut her off. I cut her off because she was sounding stupid.
And I mean, that's your perspective. We just listened to Chaotic Truth for the past 30 minutes, and you called her stupid. I'm starting to question your logic.
Hey man, she's taking back regurgitating ish. So anyway, with that, Jess, what are your 3 cents before we jump off? I know we're getting late. Go ahead, Jess.
It's just interesting to me how people think that our people were not raped, because why did they make us lose our language, our heritage? They stopped us from knowing that stuff. And we were forced to get their last names. You know what I mean? This is a white man's last name that I got. So it's like if it wasn't,
it's double white because the third. You know what I'm saying? You got a third, and then the white man he got it from.
Hey, he got more milk than me, so
yeah, it's extra white. You know what I'm saying? Now, what'd you marry into? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thinking both of y'all.
But you got more milk. Anyway, so that's the most important part, sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, why were we just numbers? If you know what
Mm.
I mean? We were not given a name, and there's documentation of that. So that's just my question.
That's a good question. I told Third before we had this show today, it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be a continuous conversation. It's gonna have to be. It's just one of those things that to iron out all the details, but you gotta have a conversation in good faith. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. From both sides. And I understand the Pan Africans. They feel away. The Africans in the country of America and the continent of Africa have their feelings, but all conversations are gonna have to be had in good faith. You know what I mean? For it to work. That's what I'll say. To be politically correct. But any signs of disrespect, we checking at the door.
I agree, and as it should. Like I said, and I stand wholeheartedly behind you. You and people who think like you and think like Tariq. Because again, what Tariq is doing for people who can necessarily trace back or whatever it is, because essentially he's right. We're a different breed, we're different culture. He's just giving or popularizing a name for a group of people who are here. He does not sit there and not acknowledge the fact that, hey, we come from African descendants. You know what I'm saying? It's just essentially giving a name to a different type of people, which again, like I said, it's not bad. And he's not wrong, and essentially because that's what it is, because we were stolen from a continent. We were made to do X, Y, and Z. We were forced to survive. And we are the descendants of those survivors. So there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you can trace your lineage to slavery. So, again, you know what I mean? Like I get it 100%. And that wasn't even the whole fight. And like I was trying to tell you, be active. You know what I mean? I used to think like you. But again, I'm going to tell you that there's just different people who have integrated this group and they perverted it and they diluted what it's actually supposed to mean. So, but not everybody thinks like that, man. Trust me. The way needs to be a town hall with a moderator.
True. Absolutely.
Very true. But then, again, like I said, we're not going to sit there and negate the fact that there were some Native Americans here, but let's not erase history. Saying there were Native Americans who actually had slaves. But like I said, at one point, you can just call it a black planet. But then we started mating and humping with different Neanderthals, Deprivants, creating different people. So there was a group of people that migrated from Siberia over here. Within that group, it would be like, I would have to be a white supremacist to say there were no dark-skinned black people who migrated over, because I'm pretty sure that they were dark-skinned, probably had straight hair or whatever. They just had darker skins. But as you continue to mate and mate and mate and mate and mate, that whole thing, genetics mutate, everything mutates, everything changes. There are people who probably stay the same. The one thing that does stay the same are essentially, well, not necessarily because they mutate and evolve, or haplogroups. But but again, they go back a certain amount. But again, to sit up there and to say like there were no black Native Americans that were already here, whether they came over on boats or already crossed over with Siberians, it would be ignorant. But to sit there and to put that jacket on all black folks, especially when I just showed you that, no, I got great grandparents that were on this continent within this country, the colonial country. It's ignorant as well, so. But I just, for me, I put this up here because I want the disrespect of FBAs to stop. The true FBAs. Let me say that. The true FBAs. All you fake wannabes who just regurgitating stuff, funk you, read a book, stop regurgitating stuff that you hear because it sounds good. Actually educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some deep education that can go deep within FBA movement.
They FBA, whether they mentally challenged or not. They don't care. I hear you, But there's no such thing as a true FBA. They FBAs. They just
ignorant.
You know.
No, man,
we can't help that. It's 50 million of them. We can't.
They want to be they want to be Native Americans, then they want to be Israelites, then they want to be Polish, then they want to be Eskimo, then they want to be aliens, then they want to be dogs. You know what I mean? Then they start stretching narratives and start stretching truth to fit their narratives. The way it makes us look like goofies and clowns. You know what I mean?
That's why it's important to source your information, man. Always source your information. That's my advice to you. Anybody.
And go back to school. Read a book. All right,
hey,
y'all.
I love y'all, man.
Hey, it's been real. We are a little bit drained, but we want to thank Be Active. We want to thank Chaotic Man. You know, what's
we thanking him too.
Truth Live. You know, we want to thank Floyd Miller, you know, Dwayne. Shout out to Method. We see you sharing and loving the post too. Thank you, man. Adoration. Shout out. Everybody who came up and supported, we appreciate you. Thank you. Continue to hit the like, share button. We are dropping at 3 cents. We're here every Friday, you know, 6 p.m. Cali, 9 p.m. East. You know, just continue to share and engage. We love y'all. Thank you, man. Thank you. Like I said, the support is just real. Hold up. There's a comment before we get out of here. I'm trying to get to it. Tariq himself said, let me put it up. Tariq himself said that he doesn't have or have never found African ancestry in his DNA, which means, no. I got a clip where he acknowledges that. Matter of fact, I'll play it real quick. You know what I'm saying? He has a problem with Pretendians, you know, which, not mad. But if you need to hear it for yourself, so you can get out of that Tariq hate, then here it goes. You know what I mean?
Acknowledge my African racial inherent DNA and the connection I have with other African descended people globally. We have a connection as far as intrinsic race and biology. So I acknowledge that. No problem with that. When I travel to Africa or any other place where there are Black people, I see a commonality with that. But we're also a people who have a very unique ethnic background, and that's us being foundational Black Americans. That goes just beyond the skin tone. All right, we better understand ethnicity, because when we're talking about our ethnic background as foundational Black Americans, now we're talking about culture, because we have a different culture. We have a different culture. We have different styles, different belief systems, a different lineage that's unique from other people. All right? We do have ethnic differences that are unique to us, just like other people have ethnic differences that are unique to them. Jamaican people who are right there in the Caribbean, even though they're descendant from African people too, they have a unique ethnic culture. Now we got somebody waiting. Y'all took her comment down. There's a girl in the comment section named Indian Red who said, Tyreek, no, we don't. All right, let me get on y'all niggas for a minute. Let me talk to y'all for 1 minute. All y'all Negroes who are now trying to claim these Indian tribes. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, let me stop y'all Negroes with that claiming Creek and all of that shit. All right, y'all can stop that. Okay, because now there's Negroes now. We is the Creek Indians. Oh, okay, hold on, because we see that, and then sometimes people try to make it seem like I'm on that. No, y'all better stop with that trying to claim them red tribes. No, those red tribes have been remixed. That's not going to work. Now, where y'all at? Come on, y'all Negroes. Her name Indian Red. No, Indian Red and other Negroes like that. All right, let me talk to y'all who are trying to claim, the dumbass, lame Callaway crowd. There's a reason why.
And you think I'm harsh? Okay. Floyd Miller says good stuff, man. I appreciate you. Hey, we all know Tariq is walking. No, he's not, man. Just finished reading what I wrote. Just finished reading what I. But your point is not my point. Just finish reading. I got you, man. I'm gonna read it definitely. We stayed on longer than what we have, and I think you know what, I did miss it. I'll get back to you, but yeah, he acknowledged that there's an African in his ancestry. What he's saying is that we came to America, became different people. He's not wrong. Like I said, I got 22% European, and there's Africans who are walking who are 100% African. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm essentially different. And on top of that, I was born on the continent of North America in the country called the United States of America. By default, I'm a U.S. citizen. You know, simple and plain. But just like Mexican Americans who are born here, Chinese people Japanese, Korean, Iranian, Iraqis, or Jewish, or whatever, all these different people who may have different descendants who come here, whatever. Yeah, I come from a descendant that came from Africa. I was able to trace my people to different people or groups of people within Africa. I'm fortunate. Other people are not fortunate, you know, and that's what he's doing. He's giving people a jacket of something to be proud about, and that's not wrong at all. At all. You know what I mean? So just my 3 cents, you know what I'm saying? And I salute him for standing on that. Because again, a lot of people are just running with this narrative. Yeah, I'm black nerd. I'm a native black American's been here. The E1B1 is Israelites and all. They just take what they get from little YouTube videos, the YouTube historians, and they try to act as if they're smart or they're educated, and they sound dumb as funk. That's Third Degree. That's DY3 Quest. This is Jess, my beautiful wife. Shout out to Adoration. We are out. You got to smoke with me. My name is Third Degree. Find me. I don't give a flying funk. Catch you on the next one, y'all. Peace.